How can drone equipment survive a 100-mile-an-hour plus wind, straight wind storm microburst? And I'll tell you how. It's pretty simple. You put your stuff in cases. Coming from a rock and roll background, as you can see, we're really big on cases, and that's how stuff survives. Unbelievable. It got minorly soaked, but because it's in a case and I've added some kind of foam relief so that the top of the case cannot crush down on the contents, you can see that. So it probably blew around, but indeed no damage whatsoever to my head play goggles, and all the antennas were in a Pelican waterproof case. So although the bottom of this case is cardboard and it was really soaked, I dried it out, dried the goggles out, everything's been tested and everything works absolutely wonderfully. And I got off really lucky with that one. Can't believe the miracle. And that Paul actually had the presence of mind to put it aside for me. I wouldn't know if I'd have done that. So let's just put that aside for a second and look at this case here, which sustained a little bit of damage on the underside. I'm actually still discovering damage as we go. And I think that was about it. And when I opened up this case, I found that although things had moved around a little bit, there was indeed no damage at all to the wizards or the controllers, because everything was packed perfectly, nestled in foam, and you put more foam on top so that it can't move around much. And that's the deal with cases. You get the cases to take a beating so that your interior stuff does not. Moving on to a transmitter case here, which all this stuff was found in the middle of the rubble, just, you know, like when you see a plane wreck. It was horrifying, and I didn't notice this at first, but we've got a gigantic dent in the corner there and a gigantic dent in the back as this thing obviously tumbled. And Gordy was noticing that there's all kinds of dents in the side, micro dents and scratches and stuff. But lo and behold, once you open it up, it's so finely packed with foam that all the transmitters were held perfectly in place, and actually nothing even moved because it's all blocked in there with foam so that it won't move. And they both work perfectly. I'm so happy about that. Let's seal that up and put it off to the side. What do we got next here? Oh, my toolbox, my absolutely waterproof, watertight toolbox with an O-ring seal. Let's just pop this open. And look at that. Everything in Pelican cases, water sealed. This isn't closed right now because I've been in here fooling around, but there we go. And amazingly enough, in this case was, in another case, my GoPros. So now you got a case in a case protecting those GoPros. And look at that. All my tools, all my drone specialty stuff, absolutely nothing suffered any injury. This case was found in the rubble, had been bouncing around, and you see a few things are disturbed, but so am I. Pretty much perfect shape. Close that puppy back up and put it to the side. And another drone saving case. Moving on. I was a little concerned when I found this Rodeo case. It was a little bit bent up, and I thought, uh-oh, maybe they're going to be in pieces inside. That could happen. I was prepared for it. Popped it open, and nary an inch had it moved. Nary an inch. Both Rodeos held perfectly in place, and no reason to suspect that they're not working. I haven't turned them on yet, but I'm absolutely positive that they are still working just fine. There you go. Moving on. This case did not fare so well. It's my LiPo chargers. I bent it back into shape. It'll do because it's not really super important, and this stuff isn't super fragile, but once again, no water got in, and all those chargers, my backup chargers, were absolutely fine. What do we got next here? We got the ISDT discharger in a Pelican case. Hang on, I gotta put my phone down to open this one. And we got my discharger and my parallel boards, and you know, this stuff didn't even move at all. It's packed in there absolutely tight and for a purpose, so that when this foam closes down on it, it is absolutely snug, and you could do anything to that case. And I found it in maybe 30 yards away from the shack, opened it up, and nothing had even moved. Am I making a good case here for cases? I think I am. This case here did not fare so well. I found it under all the rubble and immediately noticed that, yeah, not good. But believe it or not, I opened it up, and although I already took the foam out of the top because I'm going to throw this away, but the wizards and the controller, although they were pushed up into the roof of the foam, there was no actual damage whatsoever, and this case is a complete write-off. It's going in the garbage. There's nothing to salvage. It's actually a very cheap camera case, I think from Princess Auto, but the point is, it only cost me $35 or $40, and it saved about 500 bucks worth of drone stuff. So look at that. Hey! Did you see that, Baz? All right, moving on. Everything that was in that case is now in this case. Relabeled and ready for another tornado. And that's how it was in this bottom case till it got wrecked. Controller all sealed in there. The drone sitting in a foam enclosure with enough foam on top of it to press it right down. And this is the key in your cases. You don't want things loose. You want the foam to push down on it and hold it securely so that in an impact or if it tumbles around, it's not really moving around inside the case. So that's what has replaced this broken case right there. See you later. And now the star of the show, the Nanook by Plastic Case. This is sort of a Canadian Pelican case, absolutely watertight, completely rock solid. This was buried in the rubble, and you can still see all the dirt on it. I have not cleaned it up yet, but I'm just gonna put this down and open this case up and let you see how wonderful this thing worked. It's got the great latches, it can lock, and what I do is I custom install the foam myself. I don't get it done for me because I prefer to do it my way. So what I've done is I've mounted my very expensive ISDT D2 charger and those great heavy metal build parallel boards into this case. It's all velcroed and stuck in place, and then I put in these foam bars that when the case is closed, it actually holds everything in place. And when I opened this case, everything was exactly where I had left it. Nothing had moved. I got it back home, I plugged it in, I've already used it, the charger's working fine. Nanook, thank you so much, seriously. I think I am going to be visiting Big Deal Custom Casings here in Winnipeg soon. The big Nanook and Pelican and custom made dealer, and replace all of these cases right here probably with Nanooks. Well, for sure the crappy cardboard ones that broke, just like that one. I don't need more of that, so I think I'm going to go with all Nanooks. I've got one for my Nikon cameras, and I bought another one for this. I think that's the ticket. So it's an open and shut case.